You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
Hello again, everybody. This is the Club at the Man 1993, and welcome back to another special video of mine. So a couple months ago, at the beginning of Major League Baseball season, I made my early preseason predictions, and I was hoping to, go through each month and make a video at the end of each month talking about what happened that month. But unfortunately, that did not happen because I just got busy with a lot of other stuff and all the videos. It just kind of slipped my mind. So I thought right before the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby tonight, of course, also I talk about my mid-season thoughts and predictions for the season going on. I'm going to share, what I predicted at the beginning of the season, and I'll show what it looks like right now, and just talk about a future scenario and see what will happen. So this is my MLB second half predictions video. We will start off with the American League East, as we did last time. And again, I'm sorry, I know the screen looks kind of blurred out, but it's the best I can do. So, in my preseason predictions, I predicted the Blue Jays winning the division, followed by the Red Sox, and then the Yankees, then the Orioles, and then the Rays. Well, you could say most of everything is like shifted downward this way a little bit, you can say. But as of currently today, which is July 11th, 2016, things are changed up a little bit. You have the Orioles, who I didn't think were going to be a first place team this year, winning the division currently, followed by the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, who are I think neck and neck right now, and then the Yankees, which are a little further down, and of course the Rays, who are in last place. What's gone right for the Orioles that's made them such a great team this year? Well, I remember in my preseason predictions video, I was saying that I didn't think the Orioles were going to be a first place team. They added a lot of power bats to their lineup over the offseason, but I thought since most of them strike out a lot, I thought that was not going to help them that much. But their pitching has turned around, and some of these power bats are actually hitting for a decent average. Like the one player, for instance, Mark Trumbo, who is leading the American League currently with 28 home runs, and the whole Major League Baseball with 28 home runs, is still batting like 288 and still driving in runs. There's guys like Jonathan Scope that are coming up that are having a solid year. Adam Jones still having a great year. Who else? Chris Davis is hitting the long ball. Matt Wieters is having a great season. Things are clicking very well for the Orioles, and I think that if they keep this up, they could hold on to that division lead for the rest of the year. And then, of course, there's the Red Sox and Blue Jays, which are like neck and neck. But I'm still really hoping that the Red Sox play second and win one of the wild cards. David Ortiz is having an excellent season. It's going to be his final year, and he's probably going to have a career high in batting average, and he's driving a lot of runs. He's probably going to hit about 35 homers, driving about like 110, 120 runs I still see. And, of course, like some breakout stars, and like Mookie Betts having a breakout year. Xander Bogaerts is having a great breakout year. Jackie Bradley Jr., despite just having that big hitting streak and falling back off a little bit, he's having still having a good year. I mean, I still don't quite think he should have been in the starting lineup for the All-Star team. I just felt he just fell back a little bit. I'm trying to see who was I thinking? There was somebody who I was thinking that didn't make it into the All-Star game that I thought could have been the starter instead of him. Oh, crap. Can I think of his name? I can't really think of it right now. If I think of it, I'll mention it a little later. But definitely, those guys are having just great seasons, and I still see the Red Sox, probably finishing right behind the Orioles in this division. The Blue Jays come up a little bit short. I mean, again, having a good season hitting-wise, but their pitching, I think, has been a little more inconsistent than I thought. I mean, they have some good pitching like Aaron Sanchez, Marco Stroman, I think the name is. But I think that the Red Sox are just going to just get them by a little bit. And, of course, the Yankees are just having like a 500 season, could have a sub-500 season. They're just getting very old, and everybody's just getting hurt, and I think they probably could consider dealing their three relievers, back-end relievers, Andrew Miller, I can't never pronounce the other guy's name, Boscaron, I'm not sure, and and Chapman. So I see some of them maybe getting dealt. And of course, the Rays, I already knew we were going to be probably finishing in last place anyway. So moving on to the American League Central now, we have the Kansas City. I had the Kansas City Royals win this division, with the Indians finishing in second, the Twins in third, the Tigers in fourth, and the White Sox in fifth. Ah, boy, look at this whole division. Like, everything's jumbled around in it. The Indians are having a surprisingly really good year and are up by like 5 or 6 games on the second place Tigers, who had a pretty like downfall year last year. I mean, mostly because of their pitching, which some of their pitching has gotten better this year, but I still don't think they're quite out of the hole yet. And then the White Sox and Royals are like right up, like both like a half a game behind the Tigers. And then there's the Twins, who have had a really disappointing year. Like, I thought they were going to be, at least like an 83 win team, like, somewhat up there, a little bit of a threat for a playoffs, but my goodness, everything's just not been working out at all for the Twins. They're not hitting well. They're not pitching well. Just nothing's going right there. The Royals have been dealing with a lot of injuries, and their starting pitching has been a little bit on the downfall this year. And then, of course, the big injury, like I said before, Mike Moustakas is out for the rest of the year. Like, he's a big loss for them. And then, like, there's guys like, Alcides Escobar and who else? Alex Gordon, like Lorenzo Cain are having subpar years. Like Eric Hosmer is the only and like Hendrys Morales are the only like 2 great offensive guys they have in their lineup right now that they're playing up to their standards. So that's why the Royals, I think, are a little behind. The White Sox started off really hot, like right up there with the Cubs, how they started off, and then they slowed down a little bit, but they're still showing signs that they're still going to be a little bit of a threat, and especially with their pitchers like Chris Sale, Jose Quintana, who's been struggling a little bit lately, but he had a great start. Their bats like Todd Frazier was applying a lot of power, Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera, Brett Laurie has been doing great moving over to second base, Adam Eaton in the outfield. I still think the White Sox could be a little bit of a threat. And, of course, the Tigers, who, again, their pitching's been coming around. But I don't think any of the 4 teams underneath the Indians are gonna win any of the wild cards. Come close, but not win any of the wild cards. But I think the Indians, they can keep this up. With Terry Francona as their manager and with a lot of playoff experience, I think the Indians can continue on to win this division, be the surprise team of the year. Now, the American League West, I originally had the Astros win the division, the Rangers getting the other wild card spot, the Angels in third, the Mariners in fourth, and the Athletics in last place. Well, the Rangers have, especially within the last month, they've been having a really good season, having some young talent come up and help out with some injuries. They had a great sign in Ian Desmond, who nobody wanted him at first, but he's been a very productive bat for them. And, of course, with Yu Darvish and some of their other star pitchers coming back, the Rangers look like a pretty tough team right now. The Astros are in second place right now, right? I believe not too far from like 3 games from the Mariners, I think it is. They got to a pretty slow start. At one point, they were like 15-24, I think it is, but they battled back, and I think they're going to be one of the hotter teams in the second half. But I don't think their end result of the season is going to be as good as I thought it was going to be at first. The Mariners are another team that I think are going to be a threat. They started off really good, slowed down a little bit, but they're still like the little bit above 500 team. But I could see them not quite catching the Astros and staying behind, as I think the Astros are going to take the other wild card spot. The Rangers are going to stay up in front of the position. And, of course, the bottom end with the Athletics and the Angels. Again, the Athletics, they've had some rebuilding pieces in their lap. I think as they work together after a while as a team, they'll be a better team. Some pitching improve on. A big all-star snub that I want to mention from the Athletics. I mean, I was a little upset about this. This is one snub that I think really missed out. The Athletics chose Stephen Vogt as their representative for the All-Star team, their catcher, who I'm not sure how good defensively he is, but his bat is just nothing compared to the guy who I think should have been in the All-Star game for the Athletics, and that's Chris Davis, the one who's spelled with a K. He's had a phenomenal year batting I'm not sure what his batting average is, but he still has close to 20 homers, 50 or 60 some RBIs. It's how could you send Stephen Vogt over him to the All-Star game? And of course the Angels, who is a team that just like always seems like they're going to be a threat every year, but for some reason like something doesn't work out. So I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a little more done with behind the scenes for the Angels because they've been due, I think, for a long time to be this great team. I just don't know why that they're not working out, especially since they're in last place. I think just like a game or two behind the Athletics. So let's go to the National League now. Now, for the most part, it may not look like it, but I was right for the most part about this division. I rated the Nationals being in first, Mets in second, one of the wild card teams, third place being the Marlins, fourth being the Phillies, and fifth being the Braves. Well, for the most part, I had this right. I'm gonna bounce around on this one. You know, the Nationals, their offense is a little bit better than the Mets, like I thought it would be. And I mean, despite Bryce Harper not having the best year, I think they're still have a breadth of offense, and their pitching staff has been great. And of course, Steven Strasburg, I think, is finally having that big year that he's been looking for. And he's like 12-0 now, and I forgot how many strikeouts now, but he's looking like that dominant ace-looking pitcher. I think the Nationals have been looking for out of him for a while now. Now, tied for second is the Miami Marlins and the New York Mets. Now, I could see the Marlins maybe falling a little short of the playoffs this year because they don't have as much experience. But my goodness, have they been a great team this year? I mean, Marcell Ozuna's had a comeback year. Christian Yelich is having a great year with the bat. Giancarlo Stanley's off to a slow start, but he's been heating up. And I think the Marlins could make a case for the wild card, but come up a little bit short. I mean, their pitching has gotten better too. Jose Fernandez also is having a great year after battling Tommy John surgery the past 2 years. And but I think they're going to come a little short, but I got to say props to the Miami Marlins. The Mets, I mean, despite the injuries and like the disappointment from like Matt Harvey, who's out for the rest of the year, and like Lucas Duda's out with injury. I think a couple other people have some minor injuries, but I still see the Mets come up in second place to win one of the wild card spots. But I think they're going to definitely fall off from the National a little bit. And the Phillies and Braves, I mean, you know, Phillies were off to a decent start, slowed up. I still see them being like a 70-some win team, and the Braves being down the bottom. Nothing really to talk about there. And then the National League Central almost got this one exactly right. The Cubs placing first, Pirates second, Cardinals third, Braves fourth, and Reds fifth. That was my preseason predictions. And now, currently, it's the Cubs, Cardinals only a half game up on the Pirates, Brewers, and Reds. Now, I thought the Cubs at the beginning of the year were going to be the team to beat. I thought it was going to be a 100-win team, just this deadly team that's only going to be able to stop them. And the month of July has been a really bad month for them so far. Like, Jake Arrieta's not pitching as well. Their whole pitching staff is pitching like with the ERA near like 8 or 9, I think. And, I mean, some of their offense has been disappointing. I mean, they lost Kyle Schwarber for the year, which is a huge disappointment. Jason Hayward has had a terrible year, I should say. Dexter Fowler is hurt right now, but I'm sorry, but 5 Cubs are in the starting lineup this year for the All-Star game. Some I agree with, some I disagree with. Like, Brian and Rizzo, no doubt about it. They've had great years. They deserve those spots. Like, Zobrist, Russell, and, what's his face? Dexter Fowler, not too sure about. Like, Zobrist, maybe, just not in the starting lineup. Addison Russell, I mean, he's not had a great year, I'd say. I mean, he's not had a terrible year either, but I think there's guys like, you know, Corey Seager, like Trevor Story even, who deserve that starting spot at shortstop. Like, second base, no doubt about it, should have been Daniel Murphy, but they got Ben Zobrist. And then Dexter Fowler in the outfield. I'm sorry, but I have never been a huge fan of Dexter Fowler. I think Dexter Fowler is one of the bigger disappointments I've seen. I thought he'd be like a Kutch-type player, which last year he did all right, but I still think Dexter Fowler is as great as people have said. And the Cardinals are another team that have like a ton of injuries and some inconsistent players who, which is something that are getting a little older too. Like Yadier Molina didn't make the All-Star team for the first time in like years. And like I still think the Cardinals are going to fall off a little bit and place third. The Pirates, though, my team, as y'all know, it's been quite a year for them. I wasn't too sure. I mean, I'm still saying my prediction at 86 wins, but the month of June was terrible for the Pirates. They went like 11-22 or something. I can't remember, but they were at a time when they had lost 19 of their last 25. But then to finish the All-Star game, winning only win like 4 of their last like 15-20 games. I can't remember what it was, but their offense, I think, has been good, with the exception of Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen, I think, is a guy to watch out for in the second half. I can see him getting hot and having a great second half, getting an average up to like 275, 280, still in about 25 home runs, and maybe driving only about 75 RBIs. He's got a little slow start there. I'm glad they put him back in the number 3 hole spot. I think that was the reason why he was struggling. He was hitting the 2 spot. But the biggest problem with the Pirates has been their pitching. And like Garrett Cole, I think, was just hampering through an injury this year. Hopefully, once he gets back after the All-Star game, he will bounce back. And then Jeff Locke, of course, is leading the team in wins, and I'm still not a big fan of Jeff Locke. But if he's pitching okay, I'll take it. But he's too inconsistent. But then guys like John Neese, Francisco Liriano, like Juan Nicasio, not too great of years on. I mean, Neese, okay, but I honestly wouldn't be opposed to the Pirates trading some of their pitching. Like Liriano, he walks too many guys. If he didn't walk too many guys, he'd be all right. Like Jeff Locke, I don't see us trading, but I'd be glad if we did. Nicasio's moved back to the bullpen, which he's done all right. But now you have like Jameson Taillon, who missed his last start because of short fatigue, but he's going to be great. Tyler Glasnow's coming out. Steven Brault, where the heck his name was. He like Nick Kamen. We have a ton of starting pitchers that are coming up to the big leagues this year that I think are going to help out a lot. So I think at the trade deadline, we can get rid of some of those starters and bring in some fresh relievers, like the back end bullpen, like Tony Watson and Mark Melancon is still a great duo. But like some like our mid relief, I feel like we need to replace, because they're the ones that aren't pitching too solid the most. And again, trade some of our starters away, get some relief, bring some of these starters up. I still think the Pirates have a shot at the wild card spot. I think they can get at least to the NLDS, but I think the lack of experience with the starting pitching, if they do make those trades, is going to cause them not to move on further. So I think the Pirates still have a shot if they can play like they have been lately, but it's still going to be a slim chance. And of course, the Brewers and the Reds, nothing else to say. They're both in rebuilding modes, and I think especially the Brewers are definitely closer to be breaking through, being a better team than the Reds are. So we'll see how that goes. So now we get to the National League West, and I had the Giants win the division, the Diamondbacks placing second, having a better year, the Dodgers placing third, the Padres fourth, and the Rockies fifth. The Giants are having a good year, and right now I think they're playing even better than the Cubs. I think they're the team to beat right now, and especially because of their pitching. Their offense is all right, but it's their pitching that's keeping them alive. The Dodgers are in second place right now, but I don't see the Dodgers going to the playoffs. I'm sorry. Kershaw's hurt right now. They have some offense, and like Corey Seager, like great right now, but Jock Peterson's not having a great year. Adrian Gonzalez is not having a great year. Yasmani Grandal got to a slow start, and like AJ Ellis too. Like they're both okay as a duo, but their outfield is still a mess, I think. I still don't see the Dodgers getting to the playoffs. I think they need more to them if they want to get there. And then, of course, the Rockies, Padres, and Diamondbacks are just all, 10 games behind them, jumbled up down there. The Rockies, I've always thought could be a great team if they had pitching. They have all these hitters, Arenado, LeMahieu. Even Trevor Story, their rookie, is having a great rookie season. I think he can make a case for the NL Rookie of the Year, but I don't think it's going to happen because of Corey Seager. The Padres, they have some good pieces pitching, I forgot the guy's name, that weird guy's name who just got added to the All-Star game, Drew Polowitz, or whatever his name is. And then, of course, Will Myers is having a breakout year, kind of like a comeback year also, but I'm going to consider more of a breakout year. But then the Diamondbacks, I thought would be a better team this year with the offense and pitching, but it's all not coming together like I thought it would. So they're unfortunately in last place. Sorry about that, some technical difficulties. But anyways, so for American League MVP, I originally selected Carlos Correa, but he hasn't had as good a year as I'd hoped he had. But so I'm picking Manny Machado from the Orioles because he's going to hit like about 330 homers, 100 RBIs, probably the only guys, and there's no way he can't make a case for that. And then Chris Bryant, I'm still picking for my National League pick for MVP. He's average to be a little higher. I'm hoping he finishes like 280, probably about 40 homers, driving about 110, 120 RBIs. No doubt about it. I think no one else can probably beat him out for MVP. For Cy Young, in the American League, it was a little tough because Danny Salazar was having a great year, but I think if the White Sox can at least still stay in contention and he gets the ERA just down a little bit, I think Chris Sale can finally win his first All-Star Game Cy Young Award. And then for the National League, it's a little tough because if he didn't get injured, I would definitely pick Clayton Kershaw. But with his injury, I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for a while. I'm not sure how much that would affect him. And, there's like Madison Bumgarner and Johnny Cueto having great years. But somebody who I would really like to see win Cy Young Awards, I think this guy has been long deserving of it. And I think he's finally there and ready to receive it, is Steven Strasburg. He's 12-0 right now. It's like up there in strikeouts. Has a solid ERA. I think Steven Strasburg can finally win his first National League Cy Young Award if Clayton Kershaw doesn't get back soon enough from injury. For National League, for Rookie of the Years, for American League, I originally picked Byron Buxton of the Twins. That's not going to happen. And Corey Seager of the Dodgers, who I still picked. He's having the great year I expected. But I picked Michael Fulmer from the Tigers. He's a starter. He's like 9-2 with like a 2-something ERA. I think he's making a really strong case with his numbers to be the American League Rookie of the Year. For breakout stars of the year, I'm trying to remember. I think I already had Miguel Sano and Kyle Schwarber, but Twins aren't really having that great of a year, so I'm not picking Sano anymore. And Kyle Schwarber played like 2 games. He's out for the rest of the year. So I went with Mookie Betts from the Red Sox. And there's a couple of guys in the Red Sox like him, Xander Bogaerts, and even Jackie Bradley Jr. make a case for it. But I think Mookie Betts with his numbers, he's in like over 300, like 18 homers, almost 60 RBIs halfway through the season. I think he can make a strong case for an MVP candidate along with like Jose Altuve and a couple other players. But so that's why I'm picking Mookie Betts. And then Will Myers from the Padres. I wasn't sure if I was to put him as a comeback player of the year, but I thought, he's played a year with the Rays when he was Rookie of the Year, and then of course there was he had a couple injury plagued seasons, which kind of like a comeback player of the year candidate. But with the year he's having, I wouldn't consider him more of like a breakout star, I'd say, for the year for National League. For comeback player of the year, I believe for the American League, who did I originally have? It's a good question. Anyways, but I know I didn't pick the same people. So Mark Trumbo, I'm picking for the Orioles. He's been injured the past couple years, limited. He's having a great year, hitting over 280 with 28 home runs, leading the league. He's driving at about 60 runs. I think he's going to make a strong case for comeback player of the year. And then Jose Fernandez, kind of in the same boat as Will Myers, had the injuries but he's like he had a solid year, of course, and he was about to have it. Then of course injuries limited him. So he's kind of both a breakout star, kind of in the same boat as Will Myers, I say. So I'm going for a comeback player of the year being Jose Fernandez, especially because he's going to in the spot the Marlins are at. For managers of the year, I picked originally it was AJ Hinch and Joe Madden. But then, AJ Hinch, I think he's going to help the Astros get back, but I think he will have a strong of a case to make for it, as he's done for, Jeff Bannister, who's just in his second year with the Rangers. I think he's turned the Rangers into probably the one of the tougher teams in the American League to beat. And then Don Mattingly, even though I think the Marlins are just going to win the World Series, Joe Madden is not going to make the Cubs look as much of a threat as I thought they would. So, the only manager I thought that really can make a case for himself is Don Mattingly, because this Marlins team, I think next year definitely could make more of a chance for the wild card, and they are having a great season already. So props to him for turning around. They say Barry Bonds is a big help also with him being the hitting coach, but I'm still not too pleased with Barry Bonds, especially since he has the tainted record. So, yeah. Now for the playoffs. The wild card games, I originally thought it was going to be the Rangers and Red Sox and the Mets and Diamondbacks. Well, now I'm seeing it as the Red Sox and Astros and the Pirates and Mets. I'm picking the Astros over the Red Sox because, well, the Red Sox are a good team. I think the Astros are going to have a lot of the more momentum by their side. I think they're going to be a lot better team in the second half, so I can see them moving on to the division series. The Pirates, if they just keep playing well and it gets them bolster up their pitching by the trade deadline, if the Mets, even if the Mets, make a couple deals to help them out with their injuries, I think the Pirates have had great success, though, against the Mets pitching the past few years, and I think the Pirates can overcome the Mets to move on to the division series as well. For the American League Division Series, I have the Astros and Rangers going up against each other again. Just like I predicted, I was correct on that. And I originally had the Royals and Blue Jays go up against each other for the other one, but now I'm picking the Orioles and Indians. Before I was picking the Astros over the Rangers, but now I'm going to pick the Rangers over the Astros. I mean, despite the Astros having a lot more momentum, I still think the Rangers would be the better team and beat them in maybe 3-2. And then, of course, the Orioles and the Indians. Surprisingly, I'm picking the Indians, only because I know they're going to be, most of the players are probably going to be kind of new to the whole playoff thing, but Terry Francona has the experience. I think I can see the Indians making their case for themselves in the playoffs. Not getting to the World Series, but making a case and probably winning 3-1 over the Orioles. For the National League Division Series, I originally had the Cubs and Mets and the Nationals and Giants. Almost correct, except I have the Giants taking on the Pirates and the Cubs taking on the Nationals, because I think the Giants are going to be the better team than the Cubs by this point. And I think with the Giants pitching, you're probably going to win this. They're going to beat the Pirates 3-1. And then the Cubs, the Nationals have not had good playoff. I mean, they haven't had experience in the playoffs, but they haven't done well. The Cubs showed great signs last year. I'm going to pick the Cubs winning 3-1 also over the Nationals. And for the championship series, originally I had the Astros and Royals. For the American League, now it's the Rangers and Indians. As I said, I think the Indians are going to make a great case for themselves in the playoffs, showing that they're more of a threat than they thought. But I'm still picking the Rangers to be the team to beat to win and winning the American League pennant. And for the National League, it's the Cubs and Giants, as I predicted before, except for this time I think the Giants should be a better team than the Cubs. The Giants, again, have all the great experience with the pitch, especially with their pitching in the playoffs. I think they're going to be win the National League pennant. And then for the World Series, originally I thought it was going to be the Cubs and Astros. Now I'm seeing it being a rematch from 2011, I believe it was, or 2010. I'm sorry, between the Giants and Rangers. I think I have that right. If not, I'm sorry. From if it's 2012. Oh wait, 2012. I can't remember whichever team. Yeah, the Tigers have 2012. Or Rangers 2010. But and again, I mean, I think it's going to be a tougher series than it was back in 2010. But I think, and I'm not just saying this because it's an even year, with their great pitching, the Giants will now win the World Series. And Madison Bumgarner and all the other starting pitchers are going to have great pitching. But I think the one guy who's having a great year, who's not saying he's starting the All-Star game, that I think can make a strong case for himself to be the World Series MVP, is Johnny Cueto. So that's my pick. The Giants win the World Series. And that will wrap up for my All-Star Game halfway point second half predictions for the 2016 Major League Baseball season. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. And of course, as always, subscribe to my channel, my professional channel, and my friend Dan's channel also as well. I'm going to still be doing all my other video content as I do just for the heck of it. I'm probably going to be doing my WWE Top 10 Topics video. Probably not tomorrow because I have a big interview tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. But I wanted to get it done earlier because I wanted to wait till Raw, after Raw tonight. And also I'm watching the MLB, a home run derby. I'm going to pick Giancarlo Stanton to win the home run derby. But I'm I'm not going to be in town most of next week, so I'm going to try to make my WWE top 10 topics video this week, and then when I come back, which will be late next week, I am going to make a video talking about my thoughts on the WWE draft on the first live SmackDown on Tuesday. So stay tuned for all that video content, and with that, I shall see you all later, guys.
We